Hello guys, today we're going to be working on this side-by-side GE refrigerator. The model number is on the display. Welcome to DIY Repair Now. Read all the warnings, and during this video you will see one or more of these icons to help you do this repair safe. The complaint that we have is that it's not making any ice. This ice is from another refrigerator and the customer just put it in the bucket, but the actual ice maker is not making any ice. However, we have two issues because it's not giving any water in the dispenser either. So this is going to be two issues that we're going to be working on today in one video. Now I put my hands inside and there's no water there. So that means the water valve is not sending any water to the ice maker. We're going to find out if it's the ice maker or the water valve. We're going to open the water valve because the customer previously to turn it off. And as you can see right here, the water supply is very weak. It's basically nothing. It was just water sitting on the tubing. So eventually it stops throwing water. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the filter. Go ahead and twist it counterclockwise and it will drop down like so. Now we're going to remove this cover. Now we're going to go ahead and turn off the water before you start working on it because you don't want to have any mess. If you have one of these valves that you can see on the top left, go ahead and try to use this other method because you might end up breaking the water valve. If your water valve is not working, go ahead and use like a vice grips or a zip tie, as you can see in this footage, to be able to block the water from flowing, and then you create a damage because sometimes those water valves in the house doesn't work, or turn it off at the main source outside the house. Now we're going to go ahead and remove this cover, and as you can see it has a tap in the bottom right there. It's like a little tap right there, and then one on the top, and you remove it like so. Now on this footage I'm showing you how to put this back, but I'm going to show it to you later on this video when we're putting everything back again. You have to put your hand inside. Now this footage is from another repair, and I'm showing you the same way how to remove this cover, tap on the top left. The way we're going to test this filter housing, we're going to press this valve. I'm going to go ahead and put a video right now, and if you press that valve with a screwdriver or with something else, water should come out. Here's the video again in slow motion. Just press that valve right there. It's like a little pin, and if water comes out strong, that means your main water valve is fine, the refrigerator valve is fine, and you have to replace the filter housing. Now, as I was showing you in that footage, that's from another repair. If you press that little valve and the filter housing and you get water, that means your water valve is fine. You have to replace the filter housing, which this is the case. Now, the reason why we're going to replace the water valve is because we reset the ice maker and it didn't throw any water. However, when the ice maker is bad, this teeth will be, this button will be on, and it will be ice inside the ice maker. But since it was no water, no ice inside the ice maker, that means the water valve is problem. There's water should be right there where you see that red arrow. If it's no water inside the ice maker tray, again, you need to replace the water valve. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you a demonstration how to replace the ice maker in case it's your ice maker. Like if it would be full of ice and the teeth would be stuck in the ice, you have to do this procedure right here. Remove the harness and then remove the screw, and then there is a male to female connection right there. There's the female, and this is the male connection for the ice maker. That's how you replace the ice maker in case you have to replace it. Now, this ice maker is still good. Like I said before, there was no water or ice inside the ice maker, so the problem will be in the back at the water valve. We're going to find out what's going on in a minute. Now, if you want to reset the ice maker, the teeth have to be like so, and as you can see right there, the flopper is not out where it should be when the ice maker is on, and as you see on the left, the button is in the on position, and the teeth on the actual ice maker are stuck on the ice. on the ice cubes. So that's a clear demonstration that the ice maker mechanism inside it's bad. Now this video is a footage from another repair, and you can see the ice. Look at, if the ice maker is bad, it's gonna get stuck like this. It will be ice and the teeth will be stuck inside the ice. That's a clear indication that the ice maker needs to be replaced. But in this repair that we are doing today, is not the ice maker, because there was no ice, there were no water inside, and the teeth were not stuck. So this is how you turn it on and turn it off. Now we put everything back together because that was just a demonstration how to replace the ice maker, in, like I said before, in case your ice maker needs to be replaced. Now what we're doing right here is removing the back panel, which this is the cover for the compressor and all the components in the back. This is how we're going to have access to the water valve. Now, in this scenario, the water valve needs to be replaced because this is a dual water valve, and it has one side for the ice maker and it has one side for the water supply. Now, the water supply was still fine, but the filter housing needs to be replaced. So we're going to replace both in this video. As you can see, this black tubing, it goes straight from the water valve to the ice maker. So that's how we know that the ice maker is not getting any water from the water valve, because otherwise, the water does not go, the water for the ice maker does not go through the filter housing. It goes straight from the water valve to the ice maker. This is how we remove the connection with a 10mm wrench and a crazy wrench. That's how we remove the filter housing and the tubing that goes to the water valve. Always be prepared for water to spill down. As you see right there, I had a rag and a cup for all the water that drains from the filter. Just like so. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the tape that is holding the tubing, and we're going to remove this cover that is protecting the tubing that goes inside. Now we're going to remove this putty. This is a plumbing putty, the same one plumbers use for any plumbing repairs. So you can find this at Home Depot in case you need some more. But if you remove the way it's supposed to, you should just put everything back the way you found it, and everything should be fine. The putty only prevents any hot air to go inside the refrigerator, so you have to put it back. This is the old filter housing, and this is how we replace the filter housing if you're not getting any water in the water dispenser. This is the new filter housing. This is the part number. You can find this part in the description of this video. Just go there and you'll be able to click a link, and it will take you to Amazon or any other source that we have right there, and you can get it if you have the same model number. If you don't have the same model number, I suggest you to check with the buyer to see if it will work in your model. Check with the seller, I meant. Now we're gonna go ahead and put a piece of tape right here to make this part go easy on the hole, because this styrofoam sort of Armoflex is kind of thick right there. So with the tape, we just make it pointing to be able to go through the hole easier. After this, I'm gonna put a little bit of soap, as you can see right here, because with the soap it helps to slide better in the hole. Otherwise you would be struggling trying to get it in there, and it will not go anywhere. This is how I do it, and I have somebody else pulling it from the other side, and as you can see, I'm just putting it in place. I'm gonna go ahead and do the connections in the back, and then I'm coming back inside later on. This is the new filter housing tubing. One goes to the water valve, and the other one will go to the water line that is coming from the water valve from the house. Now this is the new water valve. Again, if your problem is only water supply, if you replace the filter housing, that should take care of your issue. But if your ice maker doesn't have any water, you have to replace this water valve. I know it's a little confusing because I'm doing two repairs in one, okay, because these two issues are created by different scenarios, different issue. So yes, try to understand that the reason why the ice maker is not working is because this water valve is fine. Look how I'm pressing the wiring back to release the water hose. That's how you replace this water valve if you have to replace it. Look, here's the other tubing that goes to the ice maker. Look how I'm pressing the wiring in, and then it released the water hose. It's a press and release connection. This is the old water valve. It's gonna put it to the side, and this is the new water valve. We're just gonna do the same thing, press the ring, or just push the tubing in until you feel that it's in. It also has a mark with a marker right there that it will show you how far you go. Look right there, you will see like a mark with a Magic marker or something. All the refrigerators has those marks because they want to make sure you push those water tubings in the right way. Now this black tubing has a spot for him right there. Always make sure you do the wiring connection. As you see, it's kind of blocking my view, but you get the idea. You can see it right there. Plug the wiring where it goes and install the screws that secures the water valve, and go ahead and start connecting the tubing that is coming from your filter housing. Now, if you follow these two tubing, these two hoses, they go to the filter housing, and that filter housing is only for the water supply and also the ice maker. Again, when I pressed the valve in the filter housing, it was giving me water, so in the front, but it's not passing through the filter. So that's the reason why we are replacing the filter housing as well. And also you will hear like a rattling noise, like something like if you hear something like that, 90% of the time it will be your filter housing. So just go ahead and replace it, and you should have the water working back in your refrigerator. Now, if you don't have any water in the ice maker, you have to replace the water valve. It's simple like that. If you have ice or water in the ice maker, that means the water valve is fine because it's sending water. It's common sense. Now I'm using a crazy wrench, and like I said, I believe it's a 10mm ratchet, and just go ahead and twist it counterclockwise. I will believe it. This is clockwise to be able to tighten it, and try not to over tighten it. Just until you feel tension like so. Now we're gonna go ahead and install the cover that we removed earlier. Always be careful with sharp edges because you can get cut right quick. Now we open the water valve, and we're gonna go ahead and secure this part of the filter housing. It has two 1/4 screws on the top, and it has sort of a teeth in the bottom. It's like a male to female connection right there where you see the arrow. Those bottom teeth have to be in place. That way it secures the bottom part, and the two 1/4 screws secures the top. Now we're gonna go ahead and install a new filter housing. Always use a OEM filter. We're gonna go ahead and install a new filter, and always try to use a OEM filter, because if you use an aftermarket filter, it can damage the new filter housing. In fact, that's what GE said, that it damaged the filter. This is a bypass that comes from manufacturing as well. You can keep that bypass in case you have a filtration system. You're not going to need a filter here. You just use the bypass. Now we put the filter, we twist it clockwise, and we installing this cover. Look what I was telling you earlier. this side is not securing in place because I already put the filter, so I have to remove the filter, put my hand inside, and make it go in his hoop, like so. Now go ahead and put it in and twist it clockwise until it stays in place. Plug in the refrigerator and just make sure you are getting water. And as you can see, it's going to be a lot of air. All the air that is inside the filter and the new tubings have to come out. So go ahead and dump about 4 or 5 of these cups and you should be good to go. Now, just to keep it clear, the reason why we are replacing the water valve is because there was no water in the ice maker. And the reason why we're replacing the filter housing is because we was not getting any water that you see right here. Now it's working because we replaced the filter housing. However, you can decide to replace both. I want to link both in the description of this video. Either way, if you want to order both, they are not that expensive. You can get it on Amazon for very cheap. They got also aftermarket parts, but I don't recommend to use the aftermarket. I recommend to use the OEM, but I'm going to link both just in case. And just like I said, dump a whole bunch of cups of water to get all the air out. Look, everything is looking good. And over here, just remember to turn on the ice maker and it will start a cycle. Now over here, make sure you don't have any leaks. You know, just dry everything with a napkin or a piece of rag or a towel, and you know, put your finger around it. And if you feel any water, then you have to make sure to take care whatever is loose and stop the leak. Now we're gonna go ahead and install the 1/4 screws right there, but the rest of them are 5/16. So keep in mind you will need a drill or screwdriver 5/16 and 1/4 to do this repair. At this point, we're pretty much done. We're going to go ahead and put the putty on top of the tubings and cover the hole around the tubings and put the cover back in place. Now this cover, one time I tied it too much and then it was blocking the water flow, so try to make sure you can leave it a little loose if you don't have enough water flow, but everything should be fine. At this point, we're pretty much done. Thank you. All right, guys, if this video helped you in any way, you can show us appreciation by giving us a tip using the following options that you see on the screen. If you cannot provide with a tip, is another way to support this channel by just dropping off a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the bell to receive notifications. Thanks for watching.